So today I'm going to talk about a couple of different options. First, cold turkey. You just cut out sugar in one day and that's it. You move forward without it in your life. There may be some cravings, maybe not, but this is something you kind of decide on and you just do it. I have done this. I did this many years ago when I was having blood sugar problems. I was feeling poorly enough because of my blood sugar that I was willing to do whatever it took. And so literally overnight, I stopped sugar. Cold turkey, done. And it worked for me. I'm kind of an all or nothing person, so I just did it. People ask me all the time, oh my gosh, didn't you have terrible cravings? And what was your strategy? And I didn't really have one. I just cut out the sugar. I didn't have cravings because I wanted my health back. So for me, that worked. And that was my one big time that I really cut it out. Has sugar crept back into my life in different places from time to time and I had to kind of get it back out? Yes. Not overt sugar. I wasn't out having a Starbucks latte or anything like that, but maybe I was having a gluten-free muffin here or there that had a little more sugar than I needed or had some coconut sugar or things like that. I never went back to my old true sugary lifestyle. That was done. All right, so the second strategy, and I think this is probably more popular with most people that I talk to, and that is the gradually taking it out. So if you're someone who you worry that you're going to have too many cravings or that your brain's going to go, oh my gosh, where's the sugar? Where's the dopamine? Because sugar is addictive. Sugar does produce a dopamine release in our brain. That's why we like it. You think it's because of the taste, and okay, it does taste good, but it's also that big, huge dopamine hit. It's like alcohol. You hear people say, well, it's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste because over time your brain associates with that with a dopamine release. And so it could involve sawdust. If sawdust produced a dopamine release in your brain, you would start to crave that and you would accept the taste of that as well. So if you're someone who wants to taper off your sugar, how much sugar you're eating, or if you have a full-fledged sugar addiction and you need to kind of wean yourself off, there are some different strategies. I would recommend that you start with the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. The lattes, the cookies, the candies, the cakes, the obvious things that contain sugar. Start with those. Eliminate those. You may want to go 20% at a time. I'm going to eliminate 20% this week and 20% next week and 20%, and over time, obviously, that adds up and you've made a marked difference in a month or two. Or you maybe want to say, I'm not going to have any cookies or cakes or candies. You really have to sit down and decide how you're going to attack this. And I think it's helpful when you involve other family members, other friends, people to sort of help you keep yourself accountable. If you want to keep a chart, if you want to write it down and put it on the refrigerator so you have something to look at every time you're tempted, remind yourself why you're doing this, that can be helpful as well. But also, I think understanding the science behind sugar helps you make a dent also. Understanding that it does have addictive properties, that's why you're craving it, not because you need it, not because you want it, not because it helps you relax or makes you happy or anything like that. There are other things that create and release dopamine in our body and in our brain. You can do some research on that. Some of them good, some of them not good. Drugs release dopamine. Obviously, that's not a good one. Alcohol, again, not another good one. Shopping, sex, but also having a friendly, fun conversation with someone or watching something funny or clever and laughing, that creates dopamine as well. Again, you can do some research on that and find more positive, healthy ways, whether it's going for a walk or calling up a friend or volunteering, something else that helps you feel that good, warm, fuzzy feeling. And look, we all understand that. You know that feeling. I know that feeling, that there are different ways to get there, healthier ways to get there. So that probably involves some research on your part to kind of familiarize yourself with the context of what you're digging deep and getting into. But it's worth it at the end of the day. You will feel better. You will look better. You will sleep better. So many things become easier and better in life when sugar is gone. I have lived it. I've lived both ways with lots and lots of sugar in my life, and I've lived with virtually no sugar in my life. That's how I live today. It's possible. I hear people all the time tell me it's not. It is. It's possible to lead a very happy, healthy, normal life without any sugar in your life. My dad has lived that way for much of his life as a result of blood sugar problems as well. So I kind of grew up around that, someone who didn't eat really any sugar. So yes, when the pumpkin pie came around at Thanksgiving, he passed on it. And I don't always pass on it. Sometimes I'll have a little bit, a little sliver. But sometimes I don't, and I have none. But at the end of the day, to me, Thanksgiving really isn't about food anymore. It's about family and fellowship and being grateful. And so just coming at life from a different perspective and looking for other things that are enjoyable and pleasurable and sustain life and bring you joy will help immensely. If you have any questions, I'm always more than happy to answer any questions that I can. I've been through this, so I do have that perspective and that experience, and it's worth it. You think so much more clearly. You're so much less anxious without sugar in your life. Your brain functions better. Everything functions better. It's so worth it.